Welcome to this edition of Inside Tulsa Athletics. We have a great show today, ranging from basketball to athletic training to the columnist from the Tulsa World, Bill Haisten, for two sections. Stay tuned as you come back with Inside Tulsa Athletics. Well, welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our first guest today, John Patosnick, the athletic director and the head baseball coach at Booker T. Washington. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I tell you what, this is not baseball weather.
No, it's not. It's definitely put our plans on hold.
How do you navigate through that, knowing that January, February are going to be tough? You're going to have days on and days off. You might have 60 degrees one day and 30 the next.
We just tell the kids to be ready to go outside every day. Number one, if I can stand it in shorts, then we're going outside. And so, and then be prepared to be inside. And so this year makes it a little bit difficult because when we're inside, we have to be divided up into 3 different groups just to not have very many kids in our indoor. And so there's a lot of communication going on.
That's one of the things I think a lot of people don't realize is that we've been through this pandemic now for quite a few months, getting ready to go on a year just about here. And we still have the same protocols that we had when we started in June with our off-season program on the number of people in the group and so on. And that makes it difficult when you have a team sport that you need to work out. You need to, even when you're inside, you would want to be together.
You know, our coaches communicate very well in all sports together. And so like our first group will come in and they'll hit inside, maybe take ground balls inside, and then they go to the weight room. And then the second group comes and they do the same thing. And then the first group will come back and run, do their sprints, plyo work, and then they go home. And so we just kind of shutter them through. And luckily the football team works with us so that we can use the weight room and the basketball teams. And so we just try not to let any of the kids mix together in the sports. And so
I think that's one of the things that people probably don't have an appreciation for is being the head coach of a sport, but also being the athletic director. You've got to have that unbiased opinion, when it comes to facility use and budget and all those kind of things. So it's great when you have a staff that works together.
Yes, that makes it a lot easier. And so, because everybody just wants to see all the kids get better and improve. And so it's a great staff to work with.
Well, let's talk about baseball. This would be, what's that, the hot stove league? We need a hot stove somewhere right now. But how does it look for the Hornets this year?
Last year hurt. We were going to get some kids a lot of playing time. And then so this year coming back, we have some talent, but we have no varsity experience really. And so I think we have 2 players that have any kind of varsity experience, and really only one that has varsity offensive experience. And so it's going to be a learning process as we go. And the good thing is we do have some good young talent.
Well, you play in a tough league.
Yes, we do.
Frontier Valley, who's going to be the one to beat?
Well, always Owasso.
Always.
Bixby's up and coming, and they'll be tough. And Jinx, Union, Broken Arrow, they're all tough.
Right. There's no time off.
There's no time off, and you gotta play perfect almost every night.
Well, with the young bunch, though, you'll see that improvement probably throughout the year.
Yes, and so we're gonna play Owasso. We're scrimmaging them once and playing them 2 or 3 times during the season, and so to see just kind of where we're at as we go through the season and if we're getting better or not.
Well, it's good to take the best opponent in your league on as many times as you can to get that aura that they're invincible out of your kid's mind.
That's true, and I mean, some coaches have already texted me and going, "I can't believe you're playing them that many times." But if you're trying to catch your program up to them, then you want the kids to be able to see that they're just like them, that they put their clothes on the same way, and so that we can compete with them.
So, who's some of your leaders you think will be this year for your baseball team?
Brogan Williams is our only left-handed pitcher, and he comes back with a lot of varsity experience on the mound, and he'll start at first base. And then we also have Jesse Slimp, who is, he started as third and pitched some as a freshman, and this will be his junior year, and he'll definitely be our number one pitcher. Mm-hmm. And so Joe Imes is also coming back with a little bit of experience in the infield, and he's basically one of the kids that will go play anywhere for us. And so and then we have some seniors, just a couple seniors. We only have 4 seniors this year, and so Billy Carthel and AJ Carey and Alex McGee, and so they bring back a little bit of experience, and so AJ and Billy on the mound, and Alex in the outfield, and so they're all hard workers, and the kids look up to them, and so that's the main thing.
Well, fantastic. Well, I hope you have a great year. Hope you get back outside within the next month or so. And when we come back, we're going to have Parker Childress, who's the head football coach at Will Rogers.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hales means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined, and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And now we have the head football coach at Will Rogers, Parker Childress. And Parker, kind of a unique year this year. It was I was there. I was great to see that first win in the stadium. That was fantastic. But we postponed our junior high season because of the lack of contact with the kids through the summer and so on. We were concerned about numbers, and we postponed it to a great idea, February and March. And now we have 0 temperatures outside. But notwithstanding the weather, as a head football coach at the varsity level, how do you feel about this opportunity to be with those kids in February and March?
I think it's a great opportunity for me to get in touch and meet some kids that I'll end up coaching in the future. I've been coaching with the middle school now. We've been going since November. I mean, we started in November doing some conditioning practices, kind of like what you would do in July typically. Mm-hmm. So I've been around these kids for a couple months now, and getting to know the 8th graders has been really, really helpful. And even the younger kids, keeping them motivated. And, there's only about 15 or 20 on a good night. But getting to have interactions with them and kind of learn about their what they struggle with, what they need to work on. It's been a great way for us to kind of gauge where we're going to go with our high school team. It's been
a tremendous advantage too, having them right there in your building.
Yeah, for sure. And my junior high head coach is actually a junior high assistant teacher. So he's going to be, when we go back to in-person, he's going to be around those kids every single day. So it's a great place for him to be and a great place for our program for sure.
Bet. You have good numbers looking at rank 1, compared to some of the other schools. So what would you want to accomplish out of this postponed season? What would be ultimate for you?
I think the best thing for us would be establish some fundamental knowledge of football. The first first week of spring football is kind of explaining what you're going to do, what your basics are going to be for your offense moving forward or your defense moving forward. And we're kind of getting to do that with the 8th graders right now because they can't participate in that spring football. So it's kind of a leg up for that. It should help eliminate a couple practices probably in the summertime, kind of let us get a jump start on some of the things that we're going to do with our varsity team this year.
Well, with the relationship, obviously, and the teaching aspect of it, that's really, really important. So how do you look at the future of Will Rogers football?
Well, I have 2 8th grade linemen that are about 6'3" and about 240. As long as I can keep those guys there, you always need linemen. That's the key for football. I think watching the Super Bowl, you could tell what happened with the Chiefs when they had 3 linemen out. I mean, linemen are the most important position, honestly, with a football program. Finding those big dudes, that's hard to do. So finding 2 of those in 8th grade, and we got some fast skill position players to kind of replace some of our seniors coming up this year. We have a lot of skill players this year that will be seniors. So trying to find the next running back, the next linebacker, that's been helpful for us.
Boy, yeah, to be able to identify those kids, it's literally like having spring practice.
Exactly.
And you have pads, after the first of the year, which is unheard of. And so that's a good thing. We have 6 games scheduled, and hopefully we'll get them all in. We're losing the first week now because of the cold weather. And we'll have a rule that basically if it's going to be below 40, we probably won't play on those days because the wind chill will be in excess of that too. But as we try to get those in and we look forward to next year, what impact do you think your new stadium has had on those young kids as well as your older varsity kids?
Getting to have the young middle schoolers around the program, they came out and were our ball boys for several home games, which has been really, really cool. Because I think one of the things that we struggle with is that idea of like, this is where I want to go to school. Growing up from the time you're a 3rd grader through the time you go to high school, having that choice is, I know I want to go to Rogers or whatever. I think those young kids getting to come see what it's going to be like to be a high school football player on a Friday night is really, really cool. It's a great opportunity for them. And it helps build that, what we're trying to go for with like the family of our team over there.
Will Rogers is an application school.
Yes.
So they have to apply to get in. And I think in a lot of cases we miss a little bit when we don't have neighborhood schools. Because, I think when I went to Rogers back in the 60s, I did not go to junior high here. But you knew which 4 junior highs were going to go to Rogers. I mean, that's just how it was going to be. And with the magnet program, that's kind of broken that up a little bit. Well, as you look forward to the season in 21, how do you feel about your varsity football?
I think we're going to be on the upswing this year. It's going to be our biggest class of seniors. I graduated 8 seniors this year, and I'm looking at a class of close to 20 this year. And my junior class coming up is about 20 as well. So we're building something over here. And if I can get those linemen, if I can replace my 2 senior linemen that I lost, if I can get a replacement for those, I think you'll see Rogers contending for a playoff berth again this season.
The blind side is always important, isn't it?
Of course.
Well, Parker, thank you for being here today, and hopefully we'll get this junior high season in and you'll be able to work with those young kids. And when we come back, we're going to have Kelly Bowman, who is the Assistant Athletic Director at Central, is also a certified trainer.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Glass bottle, string lights, ceramic mug. The correct answer is glass bottle. Glass bottles and jars are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But string lights and ceramic mugs should be donated or thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We have Kelly Bowman, Assistant Athletic Director and also a certified trainer from Central Junior High School. Good to have you here, Kelly.
Thank you, Gil. It's
Well,
nice
that's
to be here.
your first year in this role.
It is.
How's it been through a pandemic year?
It has been interesting, to say the least. Lots of new things that we're having to tackle and overcome that are not typical. It's a different learning curve. To some extent, I think it's made being the first year in the role a little bit easier with not having to juggle quite as much with like kids in the building. But there's also a downside to the kids not being in the building. I'd rather have them there.
Sure. One of the things that we hear constantly is that it's great for our kids to be able to get together and have practices and that type of thing. But there's that loss of camaraderie with the student body. And, now with the winter season, not allowing anyone but guardians or parents to attend, I'm really concerned about the history as we go forward about kids coming to the games and being a part of that.
That is definitely something that I'm really concerned about. So, especially with our junior high or middle school programs, they get so excited getting to come watch the high school kids play, and then they want to be part of the programs too. And them not allowed to come to the games, and we can't just, go down the hallway and be like, hey, you look like a great basketball player. Like, let's go. So that is, I feel like, hurting our programs in more ways than one. And I'm extremely worried about like our sixth graders. So Central gained sixth graders this year, which we were really excited because we felt like we could build our programs even deeper. Mm-hmm. But they're not feeling involved in athletics either because they can't join.
Or really even a part of Central because they haven't been in the building.
Right. Yeah. So it's so new to them. It's like being a freshman, but on a whole different level. So they're really struggling with it, equating themselves to the teachers and the building that they don't even get to be in. And then, so it's been interesting.
Well, February 22nd ought to be really interesting if the board does approve us to go back to in person at that time.
Correct. I can see, a lot of positives with that. I'm so excited to have the kiddos back in the building. Mm-hmm. Me and the other teachers have been talking about this. Like, we just miss them so much. It's just not the same. Like, the building's just too quiet.
Sure.
And so we're really excited to get them back in there. It's definitely got cause, for concerns as well. But I think like we were talking about in emails the other day with the kids, the mental health and will just be so much better for them and building that camaraderie. And, I've seen that a little bit with our teams. So our teams, like, you only get to be together for those small practice hours. They're not getting to see each other in the hallways and hanging out at lunch in the cafeteria. And so they're not bonding the way that they should. And I feel like that's really affected our teams and how they play even.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's, it's hopefully we'll be able to get through this. My major concern is loss of numbers, that we will lose that marginal student athlete that might play, might not play. I don't know. And that's a difficult thing. Excuse me. When you're trying to build a program, numbers are critical. As an athletic trainer, how have you viewed this whole process of getting into all the protocols and everything that we have to do?
Oh man, there's so much that you have to think about all the time. We're typically always worried about making sure like the AEDs are in the right spot and making sure we're carrying all the correct like emergency equipment. But now we're having to think so outside the boxes with making sure we have the correct sanitizers and making sure like you can't share bottles. So either the kids have to bring their own or you have to supply one. And then it's not just the typical like of cleaning of lids and things. Like, you've got to go into extra sanitizing purposes and not just the bottles, but the chairs in between games and the balls at the games, and coolers have to be hands-free. Like, I went through and ordered hands-free spigots to put on our Powerade cooler. So you're not going over and punching the button. Like, you get to just fill. But then that really needs to be a single person kind of doing that, which has been a struggle back to like kids not being in the building. I always try to grab some of my freshmen or some of our other kids in school that really love athletics, but they maybe don't want to play. And so I try to bring them in and bring them part of like my student athletic training staff, or on as like a team manager with some of the coaches to help alleviate coaches' duties and even some of my work. But this year, I haven't been able to find those kids. So it's just made it harder for like myself. It's made it harder on our coaches, so much harder on our coaches. They're having to do extra cleaning and things that they would never really have to do or think about. So it's been rough.
It'll be interesting too, because Central will be a sub-region host in 4A, and one of the criteria that we have received from the Activity Association, that between games we'll have to completely sanitize the areas and move all the fans out of the building and let them back in the building between every 2 games. So I'm not looking forward to that from a crowd control standpoint. But,
no, we're going to need all hands on deck for
absolutely.
that.
Well, Kelly, I'm glad you're here today, and good
you.
luck, and we hope to have you back sometime.
Yeah,
And when we come back, we'll have Carlin Adkism, the head girls basketball coach at Rogers.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Plastic bottle, cooler, laundry basket. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But coolers and laundry baskets should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And now we have the head girls basketball coach at Will Rogers, Carlin Adkism. And Carlin, you have an addition to your family.
I do. I have a little boy.
Tell me about that little boy.
He keeps me up at night. Keeps me up at night. He keeps me on my toes, and he's about a week old now, and just enjoying life and enjoying his presence, you know. But like I said, he keeps me up at night. I don't get to watch as much film as I accustomed to watching, but
well,
I'm
you've
glad
got
to have
both sides, because you got the girls on the team,
right,
and the boy at home.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your season. How do you feel about where you are right now?
Oh, I feel good. We've got a healthy now that we're healthy, and we're playing some good basketball. We haven't been healthy all season long. We've either had 1 or 2 players out each game until now, and so our place is pretty good for us now.
Good. So as you wind down, our ball games are canceled the early part of this week. I hope they're not the latter part of the week, but it's supposed to be really, really cold this weekend.
Yeah.
How does that work with trying to keep some continuity going when you miss game days?
It's kind of tough for us. Like I said, we're just now getting everyone back, and so when you're missing games and you're not getting that team chemistry that you want to build going into the playoffs. So I think it hurts us, but that's everybody's going through it, not just us. So it all equaled out. So we just keep practicing until we to the next game.
Sure. Do you have a young team?
I would say it's kind of half and half. Yeah, it's probably a mixture of it. Yeah, it's not really young. It's not too old. So we got a lot of sophomores. So it's a big class. So
have they played at the varsity level?
Oh no, this is actually the sophomores' first year. We had 2 senior starters, and we had the 3 sophomores. So like I said, it's a mixture, and they're learning as we go. Just not having a summer league and summer camps and things like that kind of hurt them, I believe, in their growth for this year and the preparation, because they didn't really understand what we mean by, hey, this is it's different from from middle school.
Exactly.
This is high school basketball, so the speed is different, and you got to get the hang of things.
One of the things that we did this year, and I guess the jury's still out on it. We fast forwarded the basketball season and postponed the fall season to now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Do you think that helped or hurt your junior high kids?
Well, I kind of hurt them. Just like I said, as far as just being in the gym and being around each other, and just all in all, it just I guess, but at the end of the day, you can just say, hey, that your perseverance, how you go through things in life, is that things happen, so you got to be able to adjust to adversity. So
They got to play.
you got to play, right?
And that's the big thing.
Right.
I am on a consortium of multi-school district ADs across the United States.
Oh, okay.
And we talk once a month.
Okay.
The entire West Coast,
Mm-hmm.
not playing a minute of any sport.
Really?
Washington, Oregon, and California. It's amazing. And it had gotten so dire in California that the coaches, because of their union affiliation,
Okay.
couldn't coach their kids if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So they were looking for volunteer coaches, AAU coaches, to coach football.
Really?
Because they couldn't use the facilities, they couldn't use their equipment, they couldn't. I mean, so it's we feel fortunate, I think, in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
that we played a fall season and now we're almost finished with a winter season.
Right.
And there have been some interruptions.
Yeah.
However, we've gotten the kids out and gotten to play, and I think that's a testament to coaches like yourself and our student athletes to protect themselves and take care of themselves.
Right. Right.
What effect do you think that's had?
Especially for the seniors, though, that coming off from what we had to do last year, not being able to play at state, and then coming around and not being able to have a full season like we wanted to, but being able to play and not miss your senior year, well, it's great. It's great. It's great for the whole
I
student
think
body.
that's the thing that hurt me personally the most for our student athletes and our coaches.
Yeah.
Is canceling the state tournament. We had 5 teams get ready to go, and then the entire spring season, where we had kids that were looking forward to their senior year to be able to matriculate to the next level and maybe play on in college.
Yeah.
There was no observation, no recruiting. It was a terrible time.
And same way for this year. It's kind of hard for the college kids getting the extra year. So for our seniors now, it's kind of like, the recruiting, they don't have a lot of scholarships out there for them.
Yeah, because they've waived 2 years
two-
of scholarships.
Right, correct.
And all those kids are coming back. So it's one of those difficult times, I think.
Right.
But we'll get through it, and I think in some cases it may open up a few more at the junior college level.
Yeah.
Rather than the 4-year school. I know
Definitely.
that the Jayhawk JUCO conference had just started playing in January.
Right.
And I don't know where the Oklahoma conference has or not, but it's something we're going through, and we're going to have to get through it. Well, congratulations on your new son.
Thank you. I
And good
appreciate
luck
it.
for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll have Bobby Allison, the head boys basketball coach at Tulsa Memorial.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Air filter, cardboard box, toy car. The correct answer is cardboard box. Paper and cardboard are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But air filters and toys should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show at what they're good at.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the head basketball coach, Memorial High School, Bobby Allison. Bobby, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Gil.
Boy, I tell you what a year, huh?
It's been unbelievable.
Start, stop, play consecutively, make up games, and then you can't.
I know. It's been a whirlwind, really, for the last 330 days. It seems like it's been one, I don't know, in between a dream and reality. It's just so different than anything we've ever experienced from all ends, from you guys making the decisions at the service center to the players to the coaches. It is definitely hopefully once in a 100-year situation.
It'll be something obviously that 10 years from now we'll talk about and laugh and wonder why we did certain things that we did.
But the biggest thing I've said from the start of this is that we don't have any idea what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
We still don't.
Right.
And you're right. We're getting ready to celebrate a year of this, and I think it's a tremendous accolade for our coaches and our kids to be able to get to this point where we've played, because isn't it interesting that on March the 12th the curve was barely like this, and we called everything off.
Right.
And we've gone through the curve being astronomical, and yet we've played through that.
Right.
I was looking at some of our old protocols this morning early for the principal's handbook.
Right.
And it said if we're in orange 2, we will not play. If we're in red, we will suspend athletics indefinitely. We've continued because we know how to do it safely for our student athletes and our spectators. And I think that's the biggest downside. How do you feel that affects your kids without playing before their friends or student body and the regular basketball fan?
It's at first, when I knew that scenario was probably going to happen, I was worried of it being an adjustment. But when things trickle down from the professional sports down to amateur, they saw the NBA bubble. They saw college football be different. They saw NBA basketball now, and just so they know this is so much bigger than them, and that we're not the only ones having to deal with it. And we've made great adjustments. I think every student athlete throughout TPS, and with our distance learning, I know other districts have done their thing. I think TPS has really been very thoughtful in the athletics and the school-wise. And I think a tremendous, great job to all the coaches in TPS, from football to girls basketball to boys basketball, volleyball. I don't think people realize how to connect all the dots with the uncertainty of each day. I mean, every coach, my admiration for this profession is even higher through this than it's ever been.
Tremendous responsibility that the coach has, for safeguard their student athletes and their staff and everyone, and to educate the student athlete,
no doubt,
what they can and cannot do when they're away from you,
no doubt,
and
the trust it takes, because of those hours that you're not around them, and they have to be 100% on. You guys got to be on the same page, otherwise you could ruin your whole season.
Oh yeah. Well, one of our coaches we had on here a couple of weeks ago said he brings his kids in there at 11 o'clock every day, and they go to study hall.
No doubt.
And they're with them till 5:30.
No doubt.
So at least for 6 hours, he knows what they're doing and what they're. And I think that's been the biggest adjustment that a lot of teams have had to make, is that you have to be very careful who you associate with, where you go. It's not just go hang out at the mall anymore.
No,
those days are over.
Right.
So it is a testament, I think, where we are. Well, we got we're down to the last 2 weeks of the season, and then we start the playoffs. How do you feel about your team right now?
Feel great. We are fortunate enough that we got 18 games in before the seedings, and this group has done a great job getting better throughout the year and through all the different trials and tribulations that this year's had. And we clinched the 1 seed. I believe it's the 9th year in a row for Tulsa Memorial basketball to clinch the 1 seed in the East, which is a goal every year. Winning our conference, getting the 1 seed, and protecting the home court. And these kids and the coaching staff we've put down the right game plans and learned from our losses, and we feel like we're in a great position to get back to the state tournament.
You'll be hosting.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll be hosting, and we get a bye this year.
Yeah,
because Western Heights is going to be the 16 seed, and they won't be participating.
Yeah.
And that 1 seed, that's even more valuable now because we're
yeah.
automatically into double elimination.
Right. And not having to play and get somebody injured
or contact trace.
Contact trace.
Yeah, so that 24 hours right there, that's
a
vital.
Huge bonus.
That's vital.
Huge bonus. Well, Bobby, good luck. I
Thank
hope that we end up at the Maybe Center again.
No doubt.
And we're only going to be there 1 day this year.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But good luck with the Chargers, and we'll have you back.
Thank you. Thanks for everything you've done, Gil.
Okay, and when we come back, we'll have Jeremiah Watts, Two Dog Sports.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have a special guest, Jeremiah Watts, who is the host of Two Dog Sports Talk. I had the pleasure of being on Jeremiah's show here about a week ago, and I wanted to have him come on and let's talk about high school sports, college sports in Tulsa and Oklahoma. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell us about your program.
Two Dog Sports Talk Show. We're a local talk show. We bring guests on. We on KBOB 89.9 FM. It's a small community radio station, and we come on and we bring in everybody that we know that we can get in touch with that'll come on and talk to us, because we just want people to know about what's going on in sports in Tulsa, and not just in Tulsa, but people that have left Tulsa, that was in Tulsa, and what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's your background in sports?
My background, I played sports at Tulsa Central, oldest school in Tulsa, which I'm proud to be an alma mater of. And then I played, didn't play college ball, decided not to play. But I have ancestry. My uncle played for Oklahoma University, and my brother played for Tulsa Central, was an All-American with Tulsa Central, and he played for NSU. So I have a mass background of just watching sports and enjoying sports.
You're not related to J.C. Watts?
Yes, that's my uncle.
That's your uncle.
That's him.
J.C. Watts was the starting quarterback at Eufaula.
Right.
When I was the head football coach at McAllister.
Okay.
And his junior year, my first year at McAllister, they beat us 21-20. The next year, we came up with a different game plan. We put our defensive backs, our corners, at 15 yards, put our safety at 20 yards, and just dared them to throw the football. We had 5 interceptions, and we won 9-7. It was a good, but what a tremendous athlete he was. Oh,
yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
He was fantastic. Well, as we get into sports, and it's been difficult, I'm sure, a little bit because of the stop and start and the COVID and everything. How's that affected your business?
It helped. It has affected in ways where we're not bringing in guests, but we can have guests because more guests are amped to call in, especially if, like we had Eton Thomas on. Mm-hmm. He's in close to D.C., where he was able to call in. And so things like that, that's how it helped, because we was able to get people that don't stay in Tulsa to be able to call in and do an interview here in Tulsa on the air.
Sure. That opens up a wide range of, and what people don't realize, and when we started the Athletic Hall of Fame 9 years ago, people outside of Tulsa don't understand the level of student athlete that's come through the Tulsa Public Schools.
Yes.
It's just incredible. When I mentioned to my colleagues around the nation that I've met over the years and said, well, yeah, Wayman Tisdale, he was a Booker T, and Spencer Tillman, he went to Edison, and Tony Casillas, he was at East Central. All those guys were in Tulsa.
Yeah.
They really don't realize that.
Yeah.
So
I've learned by knowing this just for a year that we have a vast array of athletes that have left Tulsa to go play professional sports, go play college sports, and the number of athletes that we have. It's just mind-boggling that people wouldn't think that little small Tulsa, Oklahoma would have that many athletes to come out of here that made major roles and impacts throughout the nation.
You know, I coached with a bunch of guys over the years, and when I was at Cameron University, two of the coaches on the staff had been high school coaches in Texas, and they just remarked, said, you know, it's amazing the level of student athlete in the state of Oklahoma. He said in Texas, you know, we have a lot of them, but he said per capita, Oklahoma has as many or more quality athletes as they do in Texas. People don't realize that.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, you got to be excited as a Central alum that we're going to have a new stadium at Central High School.
Oh yeah, we waiting. We can't wait. $2 Sports Talk Show. If COVID allow, we're planning on having a live show out there the day of the event. Yeah. You hear about Central athletes and former students of Central talking about coming back for the opening. We was trying to get this stadium over 25 years ago when I was in school. So we're happy to be there, and we want to be there as $2 Sports Talk Show just to represent Tulsa Public Schools and the city of Tulsa.
That's really fantastic, Jeremiah. You know, we had a little delay. We had a water line situation that we had to redirect, and now we've had the weather. We're still hopeful that the third week in September, you know, we'll be able to open up and so on. All those things are speculative, as you might well with construction. You never know what may happen. But well, I'm really glad you came today. And we don't have a shirt, but now I was on Jeremiah's show, and he gave me this Two Dawg shirt.
That's it.
So I tell you, one of these times I'm going to have to wear that, you know, on the show here, you know, and people want to know where that is. But thanks for being here today. I know it's a rough day outside to get around, but we appreciate it. We'll have you back sometime.
All right. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate having me on and be able to talk about $2 Sports Talk Show.
Fantastic. And when we come back, we're going to have Bill Haisten, a sports columnist for the Tulsa World.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Plastic bottle, cooler, laundry basket. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But coolers and laundry baskets should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our last guest today is Bill Haisten, sports columnist for the Tulsa World. Bill, welcome to the show. We're going to have you here for two sections, so let's get into it. Well, one of the things we talked about for the show today was what are your feelings about the state of athletics in Oklahoma right now, given the pandemic for almost a year? We're almost 12 months into this.
This is the 12th month, 12th month of it. I thought of that on February 1st, and I thought, wow, we're creeping up on a full year of this. So, I mean, think about what is now common. I come in here today, I get my temperature checked at the door. I have to sign in. I'm masked when I arrive. I'm in a room full of coaches who were all wearing masks. A year ago, that was unthinkable. I mean, right? So I'm really pleased and really actually impressed that Oklahoma got from the starting line to the finish line of a football season at both levels. Very impressive. With circumstances, like I said, that you couldn't even fathom a year ago today. If somebody had told you and me a year ago today, well, we were about to get into it's science fiction, crazy.
Absolutely.
And yet, on the fly, administrators, coaches, athletes made these unbelievable adjustments, and so I'm just like everybody else. I mean, I'm unbelievably hopeful that the vaccine is effective. I'm unbelievably hopeful that, by the start of football season that at least maybe 50%, if not 75% or more of attendance will be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Gil, I'm looking at the numbers on the economic impact, and I'm mainly looking at the big three college programs, but I mean, it's been staggering at your level. It's been staggering at the high school levels, right?
Absolutely.
The inability to sell all the tickets you want to sell and concessions. I went to a game at Webster the other night. I couldn't even get a Diet Coke because your concessions aren't operating right now. So I just think I don't know that these schools can ever recover from the damage done by 2020. You can't, because you can't stack 2 football seasons within a calendar year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's no way to recover that money. I guess there's a way to kind of slowly over time recover from the damage done, and maybe hopefully get some or all of these jobs back that people have lost. Although that's another kudos to the universities too, for the job losses have been really minimal, considering where we stand on money lost. About $35 million direct football revenue lost at Oklahoma State this year.
Yeah.
Just $35 million at one school, direct football, just for football. So at OU, that would be $60 million, $65 million one football season. So we can't have, I guess we could, but we really, oh my goodness. The thought of another season with these kind of limitations,
Bill, if
it's unimaginable.
We went through a season and say that for whatever reason the TV went away, we'd be out of business.
Well, everything would go away.
We'd be out of business. And that's unfortunate, but I think that's the kind of where it is. And, you know, what effect it's had on our programs, obviously, in the winter, we've not taken one gate receipt on any program because we only allowed the parents to attend the games because of the spread of COVID. And football was 25%. We're moving back outside now for spring sports, and we'll be back at 25%. But even yet, we'll have schools that will be really grossly underfunded next year simply because of no gate receipts. And as we look at the playoffs, we have a concern about the playoffs in basketball. You know, last year we lost them. The state championship on March 12th. That day, we were getting ready to head out to watch. We had 5 teams in, and man, when it was called off, we thought, well, it's going to be postponed, and then it wasn't postponed, and then we lost them. This year, we were hoping that for playoffs, starting with the district in 4A and below, and the region in 5 and 6A, that we would get to at least 25%. Attendance. The way it stands today, it's 4 spectators per each participant. So if you suit up 15, each school could have 60 people come to the game. 120 paid admissions for a regional contest, say, for instance, between Jinx and Union. It's devastating for the Activities Association.
Yeah.
They lost $1 million last year.
Yeah.
They're due to lose a great deal more this year. So I think you're right. The financial aspect of it, much less the effect it has on kids and the inability for them to be able to participate and perform is really going to be, I think, well, our National Signing Day this year, we usually have around 60. We had 23 because there's not that availability of scholarship because of waiving those 2 years.
That's right.
Well, we'll be right back, and we got more to talk about with Bill after these messages.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Glass bottle, string lights, ceramic mug. The correct answer is glass bottle. Glass bottles and jars are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But string lights and ceramic mugs should be donated or thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to the second portion of our interview today with Bill Haisten, Tulsa World Sports Columnist. And Bill, you had some other observations when we were off the air.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about this during the Super Bowl the other night. You know, you got this, I shouldn't call it nonsense because you do what you got to do, but you got these cardboard cutouts in the bleachers of a Super Bowl and about mixed in with about 30% capacity. I forgot what it was, but I was here being Webster at the Webster Fieldhouse last week to watch Webster Memorial, and there were about 15 people in the gym. And like you say, it's limited to just family members or parents. There won't be a better game played in Oklahoma this year. Mm-hmm. What a great game. Webster bolts out to a big lead. Memorial plays their guts out, gets back in it. They're on the brink of stealing a victory, and then Webster, Anthony Pritchard made an unbelievable defensive play. Webster wins the game, and I'm just thinking, I have so much respect for these guys to play that hard when there's in an empty gym.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to have 2,500 people to get excited about the game. They just played their guts out.
And the aura of being a high school athlete and having a win like that and being able to go to school the next day. We haven't been in school since March 12th.
I know.
You know, that camaraderie that you build within your school environment has been lost. Mm-hmm. And I feel so good about our teams and our coaches, our athletic directors, to stay in the course. And we finished the football season. We're going to finish the basketball season. And, you know, it has given our student athletes an opportunity to have that camaraderie with other students, where a lot of students haven't had.
Right, that's right.
And I think that's, from a mental health standpoint, that's really important for our kids.
I know. I mean, it breaks my heart for these kids. I mean, you don't have the Friday pep rally. You don't have the build up during the week. I'm talking about football, and you know, and then, but these basketball kids. I mean, at least football had some chatter and some noise and some. You know, I was at a game at the new Rogers Stadium, and it was some atmosphere and it was fun. But you know, these empty gym games, you just feel bad for these kids because they're you know, they're putting in the work. B, you know, every generation before them has gotten to play before friends and family and classmates. And like you say, there's a little bit of, you know, at high school, if you're an athlete, you're a rock star, you know, and these kids just aren't getting that complete experience. So, but it just heightens my respect for them all the more that they're going out there and doing it for the right reasons, which is, you know, their teammates are invested and therefore they're invested.
You know, one of the things that from an athletic administration standpoint that we worry about is how many kids have we lost forever through this. You know, that just, you know, in high school you have those, everybody knows who the players are, and then you have those good solid kids that are going to be there every day, but you have these other kids that may or may not want to play, and you know, so I don't, and so I'm really concerned about in the future everybody I talk to, you know, when Oklahoma football, high school wise, is down 7 or 8% in participation.
Right.
That gives you a concern, and you look through the other programs, that gives you concern. So, what's your feeling? What do you think the lasting effect, and how long will it take us from a sports standpoint, high school to college, to get out of this?
Well, I think there's some aspects of what we've seen the last year that will never go away, like this heightened commitment to keeping these facilities super clean, not just lip service or occasional cleaning. And I'm not talking about TPS. I'm talking about high schools all over the country. I think there'll be you'll see much greater detail with regard to keeping facilities clean and with regard to like testing, I don't know. I mean, think of back to the colleges for a second. if you told these ADs and these associate ADs who are in charge of the budgets, we're going to add a couple of $100,000, maybe $500,000 to the budget for testing, just testing, just so we can get on the field to practice, so we can hopefully play a game on the weekends. I mean, how much longer are these athletes and coaches going to be subjected to the testing? Even if, Gil, even if the vaccines are, if the reports after 60 days or 100 days or 6 months are positive, is anybody going to be ready to take a full, complete step back from testing? I don't think so. I don't. So I think there'll be, with regard to scheduling, there'll be much greater emphasis on bus rides for these universities on non-conference scheduling, you know.
Rather than airplanes.
Arkansas and Arkansas State are going to play football in 2025 for the first time
ever,
which is nuts.
Oh my goodness.
But you know, common sense, man. Keep that money in the state,
Exactly.
and I think you'll see a lot more of that. But I mean, as for what Oklahoma high school sports, TU, OSU, OU, what it's all going to look like a year from today, 3 years, 5 years from today, I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful, but you know, some of the possibilities are pretty terrifying.
I think it'll take us 3 to 5 years.
Amen.
To get back, you know, where we were 2 years ago. And I don't know number-wise and financially if we can do it in 5 years because of the impact that no gate receipts, the media revenue, all those things that partnerships. I mean, take for instance, we lost a tournament of champions this year. That's $30,000 cut for us.
That's right.
Right off the top.
And you lost it in a year when you were going to, you know, your debut tournament at the BOK.
At the BOK. So
which everybody was fired up about.
Yeah, we certainly were.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, thanks for being here today.
All right, good.
And hopefully we'll be able to have you back on later on. And we'll be back after these messages.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Well, thank you for watching Inside Tulsa Athletics today. I think we had a great show. Want everybody to stay safe. The weather's bad. The COVID is bad. So take care of yourself, and we'll see you in 2 weeks with Inside Tulsa Athletics.